Ghana feels like Jamaica. Ghana even smells like Jamaica. Even some of your language is similar to Jamaica. So, the way some of the villages talk, I don't know what you call it. We call it patois, but you guys speak and you say, adekam. And, that kind of, it's similar to patois.
Pidgin.
Yeah, pidgin, there you go. So pidgin and patois, very similar. And, even some of the tree language, like there are people in Jamaica that still use certain words. So some of the foods are the same.
Hello brothers and sisters, I hope you're all doing fine. Now I have this video of Jamaicans moving from their own island, from the Caribbean and from UK and US, coming to Africa, and being more specific, going to Ghana. And what is life like in Africa or in Ghana for all those Jamaicans and black brothers moving in? So in this video, I'm gonna share the happy moments and how different people who moved from Jamaica, the Caribbean, or US, UK back to Africa, how they are doing, how is their life, their testimonies on this. Thank you so much. So let's take our time, dive to this video, then come back later, have a discussion. Thank you so much.
My name is Kefoy Burton, and I am from Jamaica.
Hey!
Yeah.
I have found another Jamaican here in the crowd, and we're going to hear his story. What is he doing here? All kind of things. So we could jump right in. I know nothing about you. So,
That's all right.
So born and raised in Jamaica. Where in Jamaica are you from?
I'm from a place called Spanish Town. So
Sorry, go
you know
ahead.
Spanish Town? You see, you know Spanish Town?
I do, yeah, Chronics.
Yeah. Actually, it's very funny because Chronics and I grew up in close proximity to each other.
Okay.
But we've never met. I lived in a place called Bucktown. Chronics grew up in Ensom, I think. And we both lived in De La Vega City.
I was going to say De La Vega.
Yeah.
I grew up in
And I lived in De La Vega City.
What would you say growing up in Jamaica was like for you?
To be honest with you, it was a little bit rough. Because, I'm a ghetto youth.
Hey, that's true.
Yeah, I grew up in the ghetto.
Know.
You see? I am refined now. My friends will tell you I'm not refined.
And they know.
And they know. It was a little bit rough. I grew up in poverty a little bit. I ended up in a prominent high school.
Okay.
So, I had a little bit of brains. I was a little toops, And so what happened is that it exposed me to a lot more realities in terms of, people with higher economic status, people who are from a rich background, people who are from an okay background.
Okay.
It really broadened my horizons, and I would say thank God for high school. I grew up with my mom. My mom left Jamaica when I was 10, went to live in the UK, and then I lived with my aunt for 2 years. Very beautiful aunt. Like I love that auntie. Like I'm a favorite auntie.
Shout outs to Auntie. What's her
Big up
name?
Auntie Anna,
Auntie Anna, yes.
So yeah man, she always treated me like her son. I didn't feel like I was her nephew.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I got into high school, I moved in with my dad and my stepmom, which is my mother. You know what I mean? It's my next mom. So it was alright. It was alright.
Props to you for going through that and getting to where you are. What would you say was one of your favorite things about growing up in Spanish Town?
It was mostly playing, See, in ghetto, you see, a Sunday evening, the neighbors will bring out a sound box. Sound.
Yeah.
You know sound.
Yeah, you
And
lock up the street?
Yeah, they bring out sound, and you could dress up like you put on like your best clothes, and you go out and you get and you enjoy party. It was alright. It was cool.
And after high school, what did you do?
I went to university.
In Jamaica?
Yeah, I went to Northern Caribbean University. It's a private university actually, but it's a Seventh-day Adventist university. My dad is a Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay, so you grew up in the church too?
Yeah.
Alright, all the gospel song and them.
Yeah. I know the Bible well. I went to NCU to pursue mass communication. I didn't finish because I got a child. And so I had to leave school and try to,
Work.
Yeah, work. And then at the time I said, you know what? I'm back on my feet now because I'm a hustler. By the time I was back on my feet and ready to go back to school, boom! Next picnic.
They say when you plan, God laughs.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so where were you working?
The very first place I worked was at Loop, Jamaica. I was the face of Loop in Jamaica. Yeah, hey, Charlie.
And then transition to what?
Transition into my own business. So a friend of mine, we both quit our jobs on the same day. He's been my friend since high school. And I said, I'm quitting this job. And he said, if you quit the job, I'll quit my job. We've always spoken about, opening our marketing business. We were working and we were getting jobs and things. And then my brethren, he's very bright, very bright boy. He was drafted to work at the UN. They wanted him to come fly in as an intern and work at the UN and blah, blah, blah. And he really liked the opportunity. And I was like, you know what? as a business partner, I don't have no problem. You understand? Because you want to spread your wings. You want.
Of course.
So,
You gave me a blessing.
Yeah, and you know, I was acting still.
Where did acting come in?
I was an actor in high school. It was like this. I liked cricket. I used to play bush cricket. I was doing cricket training and I wasn't very disciplined. It's very structured, hold the bat like this. And I was just like, Anyway, I used to dodge training one. And then there was one time me and the coach got in some altercation. Say, you again? Don't come back to my training. I'm gonna say, all right, you know what? And then I decided I need something to do because I was in sixth form and I felt like I didn't want to go home early. You know what I mean? Like I want some extracurricular activity. I had a friend who was trying to get me to join drama since like grade 10. So I was like, let me go join drama club. And I joined drama club. Let's say I joined drama club end of September. By mid-November, I landed my first ad on TV.
Really?
250,000 Jamaican dollars to me is like a lot. That's like $2,000 as a 17-year-old. I say, hey, Charlie.
Exactly.
And then out of that, the person who directed that ad actually was looking for an actor for a film the next year. And she cast me straight away. And that's how I got into acting. From that movie, the lady who wrote the movie that brought me here, she watched that movie and said in her mind, 11 years before we shot the movie, that she wants this guy to star in a film for her.
Oh my God. Okay. The pieces are coming together,
Hey,
y'all.
Charlie.
The pieces are coming together. So then tell me about her. Tell me about when this lady reached out to you.
So apparently this lady has been trying to reach out to me from before, like a year before. But I didn't know. My management called me and she was like, you know, this lady wants you to star a film. I'm gonna say, okay, what's it about? And she said, she don't really know, but you'd go to Ghana. I'm gonna say, Hey, sign me up right now.
One time.
Right now. I've always wanted to come to Africa to see what Africa is. You know what I mean? I don't know anybody in Africa.
But that opportunity came.
Oh, the opportunity came. I was like, hey.
July 2019, and that's when you first came to Ghana.
That was the very first time.
Okay, and so what was that experience like?
For me, it was surreal. The very first thing is that a Rastaman owned the hotel I stayed. And you're like, hey, wait a minute.
Jamaican Rastaman?
No.
He had dreadlocks. Well, he's a Rasta.
Yeah, it was dark
Okay.
like me. You know, so I was like, hey, wait a minute. As much as Jamaica is 99% black,
Yes.
it's not very common. To see something like that for me, it changed a lot of perspective in terms of limitations and in terms of ceilings again. So, you know, when I saw that, I was like, yo, maybe I can be something greater than I could be in Jamaica.
That was just for work, you coming to Ghana. But now you're living here and it's 2022. How did you get to live here? How did you come about that?
Alright, so when I came here to do the movie, I met Jamaicans. And for you meet Jamaicans, alright. And so I met this lady, her name is Ruth Kwakwa. Very nice lady. It was a rap party. It was a rap for the movie.
Okay.
And we were talking and she was like, hey, where are you from? Etc. etc. I told her where I'm from and she said, what school did you go to? And I said, I went to Arden. I said, Arden? You know there's an Arden boy that live here? Really? What are the odds? Is it? And she said, oh no man, I'm gonna make you meet him. And she gave me his number and thing. And his name is Raphael. Raphael is a Jamaican as well. And him and his wife own Jamra. And so I contacted Raphael. You know, we link up on thing and we chat. And I asked him questions about Ghana. And he said, listen, if you want to know about Ghana really and truly, you just have to come. And that's fair, you see me? So closer to the time for premiere, they were the ones who actually purchased my ticket. I stayed for the month of December. And you know, if you stay in Ghana in December, you're convinced that Ghana is Ghana. When I say it was lit, I mean, at one point I was saying, yo, Raphael, me no want to go nowhere else. Don't carry me go nowhere else, brother.
You're tired.
Yeah, I'm tired.
In tradition, until you live that tradition, you don't really know what that steeped in tradition means. And here in Ghana, it's like everything is linked to some tradition. It shows up in the daily protocol, how you say hello to people. You know, when you enter a room, you have to greet people in a certain direction. You have to greet them in a counterclockwise direction. You can never go clockwise when you're saying hello to people. And they're daily occurrences that remind you of how old this civilization is. You know, and that traditions have been carried out since then. You know, the whole family system, the matrilineal system of the Akan or the Ashantis, it comes from way back and it persists to this day. And I think it's beautiful to watch that. It's almost like walking through a historic city. Let's say you're walking through Spain and you're seeing these historic buildings. There's something very impressive about seeing history or seeing things that represent centuries around you. And in Ghana, you see that in people. People's behavior represents centuries of behavior that was in season. It's almost biblical. And that means how this translates is that people don't speak and share their information with the speed at which Jamaicans speak and share information. So Jamaicans and other cultures too, Jamaicans, we just put everything out there and we just speak our mind. That is like the biggest sin in Ghana. You do not put everything out there and you do not speak your mind just like that.
What?
There's a time, no. So me and my Jamaican crew, oh Lord, we get into trouble all the time. Lord, have
What?
mercy.
Because we're known for, if we like you, you're gonna know it.
The
If we
biggest
don't
sin
like
in
it,
Jamaica
you're gonna
is what?
know it.
In Jamaica, the biggest sin is what? Hypocrite.
Right.
Cannot be a hypocrite, right? So our Jamaican belief is truth at all cost. Ghanaians believe in peace at all cost. So if it means that you have to hide the truth to maintain peace or to not ruffle feelings, then people will hide the truth and they don't consider it lying. So that's why I'm hesitant to use the word lie. You know, Jamaicans say, a lie, I tell about a lie. No. They believe that if you're maintaining peace, it's okay to delay the truth or to color the truth. So, for example, if a relative dies, your own relatives could take a week to tell you that somebody important, somebody close to you has died because they don't want the shock of it to hit you.
Wow.
Another thing is, and where we run into this all the time is, if a plumber comes to the house and they say, boy, you can fix this pipe. Yes, man, I can fix it. When you coming? You coming tomorrow? Yes, I'm coming tomorrow. Tomorrow pass, the next day pass, the next day pass. So finally, when he comes, you say, so why you never tell me? Boy, I never want to upset you. So that's classic. People will hide the truth so as not to upset you. If I said to you, Xavier, boy, may I get married next week, you know, you come to the wedding. As a Jamaican, he said, boy, may I have something booked for next week, so I can't come. In Ghana, so that's what I would do in Ghana. I would tell you the truth straight up. I said, no, boy, I'm a book already, no, I can't come. Here, you'd find that people would rather say, oh, that's nice, oh, okay. And you think, you interpret commitment to it. But no, they actually know right at that point that they can't come.
Wow.
But there's a spirit that says, it's okay not to say it all right now. We can say that later, or we can just not show up and then afterwards apologize. So that is so typically, and I speak with lots of Jamaicans about that. You will hear Jamaicans who aren't married to Ghanaians or who haven't been here for a long time missing that a lot. They just don't understand why the truth seems a bit delayed or seems a bit colored. Because for us,
I've been seeing so many families moving from Jamaica, the Caribbean, UK, US, coming to Africa, I mean. And this has been happening since the corona pandemic. It opened so many people's minds because they realized the little savings we have, we can go and make a big investment in Africa. And so many of them have been moving from UK, from Canada, from US, from Jamaica, from all these countries in the diaspora and coming back home. Now, one thing I'll tell you, home is always home. East, west, south, north, northeastern, northwestern, all this, home still remains home. And we can be talking about these things. We have been talking about the same things, that when you feel like you're prepared, come back home. We've been seeing a lot of Jamaicans. We've been seeing many of Jamaicans coming to Africa, and they are coming to Kenya, they are going to Ethiopia, they have been going to Ghana, and others are going to Nigeria. This is the time to come home. This is the time to invest. This is the time to realize that the small investment that you have, the $50,000 you have, it is so much bigger in Africa. Imagine, that can build your home, that can get your business, that can get your land, which it can't do that in US, Jamaica or in the other countries in the diaspora. So we've been talking about this, and the president Ado Akufu of Ghana announced the year of coming back. Now, in this year, and he talked about it, and he gave free tickets, he gave free land to those people who are coming back home, the year of return. And we saw so many Jamaicans, we saw so many people, black family that are living in the diaspora coming back and getting to have a life. Now, I'm discussing this because we should realize this is the time to make things right. Our grandfathers did you wrong. They sold our own brothers and sisters, took their land just because of getting sweets, because of getting bicycles, because of getting clothes, and they did all that. But we are here today telling you, brothers and sisters, you can see whatever your other brothers are doing. They are already coming to Africa, and if you feel you are not prepared, just take your time, have some savings, come to Africa. In Africa, the dollars you think are the dollars you think you are paying mortgage with, it's the same money that you can come to Africa, get a land, start building a mansion, start a business, and have a life in Africa. Now, Africa is giving people life. We have been seeing that. Jamaica is giving people life. We have been seeing that. But Africa is home. And however much you go around the world, home will always be home. And this was just my wish, that the people who are in the diaspora, the people in the UK, the people in US, the people in Jamaica, you can consider coming back home. You can see all these people in this video. They are back home. They are back home and they are enjoying Africa. It might not be that favorable if you are running out of cash and all that, because you come back, no one, and you need to start a life, you have a family, so you need some savings. And for example, in Africa, if you have $50,000, that's around 7 to 8 million shillings in Kenya. So that can get you a house of 2 million shillings, and a home, that's a home, 2.5 million shillings or 3 million shillings. You can get yourself a car at 1.5 million shillings. Then you can start a life. The rest you can use to buy furniture and start a business. You can start a whole life out of that money. And that in the US or in UK or in any other country in the diaspora will only last you for some few months. So, brothers and sisters, we've been seeing people trying to spread some bad news about Africa. We know our leaders have messed things up, but that does not mean you shouldn't come back. You should come back. This is where you belong. This is where your brothers and sisters live. This is where everything of yours is. Now, your ancestors were here before they were sold. Your grandparents were here before they were sold. So this is your home. Your roots are traced back in Africa. Your roots might be in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Cameroon, in Kenya, in Ethiopia, and in any other country in Africa. So this is the time, brothers and sisters. I wish, this is just a wish I'm making. If you could just listen to yourself, do some survey, do some research, contact with the people in Africa, try to talk to them, maybe get some ideas of 1, 2, 3 things that are happening here, then try make some savings, then visit Africa. You will love it, my brothers and sisters. I have seen friends who came from UK, who came from US, who came from Jamaica, and they're in Kenya, they're in Uganda, Tanzania, Nigeria, all these African countries, and they're doing absolutely well on a very average savings. I mean $50,000, and they're doing much okay. So it doesn't, you don't have to have $300,000 or You just have to, some few savings will get you going in Africa, because in Africa, before things are messed up with our own leaders, with our own greedy puppet leaders, life is so good here. So good, my brothers and sisters. You can eat anything you need just from the farm. You can, it's just good. Yeah, thank you so much for having taken the time to watch this video. I appreciate so much. If it's the first time you're coming across the channel, consider subscribing. Black Lives Matters a lot. Thank you so much.